And welcome back to the show. Well, there is a tour coming up in September that Dave and Harley, myself and Harley, know that you are going to absolutely love. It is the Cradle of Filth tour that we know so many of you are excited about. And tonight we've actually got the man himself, Danny Filth, on the phone to chat all about it. Welcome to the program, Danny.
Greetings. How you doing?
I am going really, really well. Now, we have to ask that we know so many of our listeners are so excited about this tour. How do you feel about bringing Cradle of Filth back to Australia?
We're naturally, obviously, elated about it. You know, we could do with a change in weather for a start. We've had a pretty miserable summer here thus far, so very much looking forward to coming to Australia and obviously playing shows. The last time we were there was 2019, which is obviously pre-pandemic. So that's I'm just doing the math now, 5 years ago.
Yep.
So yes, we're due for a visit.
Well, I hope our weather improves enough for you. It's a little bit miserable here in Australia at the moment, but
I'm sure it's not. Well, actually, no, it's all right here today. But it'll be the first of not very many.
Well, seeing as though we're talking about your live show, you recently released your live album. So let's talk about performing live. What do you have songs or certain things you like to do live that makes it special for you?
Just getting on the stage is special enough. We always have like a pre-gig ritual as such. Trying to get into the spirit of things. Choosing a set list is always going to be more difficult each and every album you release, obviously, because you're shortening the window there with the amount of songs you can play. And most of our songs are hardly the 2-minute mark. So with a new album in the pipeline, it's actually my last day in the studio today at the mix. That's due for, hopefully the single may be out for Australia, the first one. But with each and every album, it gets a little bit more difficult to choose a set list. But apart from that, it's probably the only drawback you have about playing live. Really up for it. Really looking forward to coming.
Danny, what is it that makes that so difficult for it? Is it because of the volume of music that you've got in your back catalogue now? Is it so that both you and the band are happy and the fans are happy as well? What makes that task so difficult?
Well, yeah, you just mentioned it. It's a huge back catalogue. There's material that people want you to play. There's there's material the band wants to play. If you're on a current touring cycle, then you're kind of expected to play material from your last recording. So yeah, it gets more and more difficult. I mean, if we had it our drummers' way, we'd be playing for like 6 days. But an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes will have to suffice.
So do you mix up the track list when you go to different locations?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, it keeps it fresh for you as well, I suppose.
Well, hopefully. I mean, we've got a European tour coming up, and there's a couple of festivals dotted in amongst those dates. This is later in the year, not the summer festival run. And obviously, from one day to the next, we're going to be changing the track order in order to satiate people who are coming to the festival or coming to one of our headline shows. So, yeah, it's tricky in that respect, but, it's our job, so.
Danny, you just mentioned that you've been working on new material in the studio with the new album as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's been like working on the new album? And you said we might have a single out by the September tour. Do you look forward to being able to play these new tracks live?
Well, they won't be played just yet because the new album won't be out till probably next year, the very beginning of next year, with 3 singles preceding it. Studio's been good. It's been a little sporadic in the fact that we started last summer and then promptly 2 weeks later headed out playing shows. Then I went to LA. Then we had a full American tour. Didn't get back till Halloween on the dot, actually. A few weeks in the studio again, maybe about a month before the producer's wife had a baby. So Then we had to hold back a bit. Then it was Christmas. We had about a month and a half. Then we were out on tour again. And then it basically was a few weeks of finishing vocals and a mix. So yeah, it's been a bit sporadic, but quite interesting in the fact that revisiting stuff gives you a bit more clarity, I think. You know, you can stand back and you can see the wood for the trees.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you get the same satisfaction of recording as you do from live performances?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's a little dull. I mean, I always wake up very excited about, yes, I'm mixing today, great, I love this. And about 2 hours in, I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs going, oh, do I have to listen to another snare? But overall, you know, generally it's the creative process that I relish. It's chalk and cheese. You know, you could be on tour on an album cycle, and you could be, you know, doing 2 years, 3 years worth of gigs around the world, and by the end of it, you're like, God, I just want to go in the studio. And by the time you're in the studio for 6 months, by the end of it, you're like, God, I want to go on tour. So I think they complement each other.
Are you someone that finds that you can write music while you're on tour, or do you just try and keep the two processes completely separate?
Well, we always endeavour before going out on tour. We always have a checklist of things. Yes, I'm going to do this. I'm definitely going to be hitting the gym every day. I'm going to be doing a tour diary. I'm going to be doing this, and this. By day 3, all that's pretty much out the window, and it's about survival. So we do endeavour to try and write on tour, and we have, but mainly on days off where we'll take over a hotel room, get all the guitars out of the trailer, and some recording equipment. So on a 6-week tour, we'll probably get like 6 or 7 days in like that. But also we're really into sightseeing. So again, it's about balance.
Do you also feel that you kind of have to have the mood or the inspiration to get you motivated to do that?
Oh yeah, obviously. Like getting out of bed.
Yeah.
So foremost, the main obstacle.
Yeah. You mentioned sightseeing. As you mentioned before as well, you haven't been to Australia for a little while. What kind of things do you like to get out and see? And have you got anything on your bucket list that you want to see while you're in Australia?
I think I've done most things in Australia. Obviously, we haven't been to Ayers Rock or anything in the interior as such. Yeah, I think I've seen my fair share of koalas and pubs. But there's a few theme parks I wouldn't mind hitting.
Yeah.
Somebody recommended, I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but somebody was recommending some theme parks. I was like, ooh, ears pricked up immediately.
We've also got a pretty brilliant museum in Tasmania called Mona that I think you would enjoy as well. There's a lot of things to do with the occult and surgery items and things like that down there that I think you would enjoy as well.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
I'll put it on the bucket list.
Yeah. Yeah, so going back to playing live as well, you guys are known for putting together an absolutely amazing theatrical experience for your audience. Could you talk to us a little bit about that creative side as well? Like, you guys don't just go out there and play music, it is a full show. How do you keep that fresh and new for all of your fans?
Well, it can prove a little tricky, especially when we're having to fly stuff in. I mean, obviously not being a stadium band, it's very difficult to bring what we have stored here in Europe or in the States. Like currently when we're going out in Europe, which is in about 9 days' time, we'll have big sentinels on the stage and lighting, our own lighting rig and various contraptions, and yeah, it's very full on. We try and make it as cinematic and as much an experience as possible. I mean, I was always of the mind when I was a teenager that I wanted to see the bands that really put on a show.
Yeah.
Jeans and t-shirts didn't just cut it with me. Although I was a massive thrash fan, so that was pretty much running the norm with thrash metal. But yeah, I mean, we try and put on a show. And when it comes to touring overseas, somewhere like Australia, which is obviously a massively long flight. We try and source as much as we can there, but yeah, we always put on a 100% show. We've got a great support band in Infected Rain this time round. If anybody's not checked them out, check them out. So yeah, like all I can say is very, very excited coming back. 5 shows. They're all going to be absolutely killer. I believe that it's about 70% sold out across the board. I think Melbourne is going to go first. It's about 91%. So yeah, get your skates on if you haven't got a ticket already.
Definitely. And we had Infected Rain on the show last week as well, and they are so excited about being able to play live with you. So they're looking forward to that. Danny, we are running out of time, but to finish off, what would you like to say to your Australian fans out there who have already bought tickets and to those that haven't bought tickets yet?
Well, obviously the people who haven't bought tickets, get your fucking arse. Yes, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I didn't know if this is a family show. Yeah, absolutely. Get tickets now. Like I said, they're selling quick. We haven't been back for 5 years. Infected Rain Reverse is going to be a massive show. People are going to love it. Those people who already have bought tickets, where you obviously know you've made a wise choice, and yeah, you'll probably know what to expect. But can't wait to see you guys in September. Very, very, very much looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the jet lag, but everything else, can't wait.